Picture this, 3 small boats charging through the darkness at 35 knots toward a billion-dollar American warship. No lights, no radio response, no intention of stopping. The pirates thought they had found another soft target in the Gulf of Aden. They were about to discover what happens when you mistake restraint for weakness. At 5:17 in the morning, the destroyer's radar painted those 3 contacts closing fast, 12 nautical miles out and accelerating, not drifting like fishing boats, not broadcasting like merchants, moving in formation like hunters. The kind of formation that makes every sailor on the bridge stop what they're doing and pay attention, because small boats don't rush destroyers by accident. The first warning went out over the radio. Calm, professional, crystal clear. Unidentified small craft. This is a United States Navy warship operating in international waters. You are approaching at high speed. Alter course immediately. Only static came back. The 3 boats kept coming. 9 nautical miles, 8, 7. Their wake started showing white against the dark water. 3 scars cutting toward the destroyer's hull. This is where most people think the Navy would open fire, blow them out of the water before they got close. But that's not how American warships operate in international waters. Every ignored warning gets logged. Every course change gets recorded. Every second of approach becomes evidence. Because the difference between defending your ship and starting an international incident is documentation that proves you did everything right. By 5:21, the range had dropped to 7 nautical miles, and the pirates were showing their true intentions. The center boat angled toward the destroyer's bow. The outer boats spread wide, trying to split the ship's attention. That's not fishing behavior, that's attack formation. The kind of coordinated approach that forces a warship to track multiple threats, while pirates look for one blind spot, one moment of confusion, one chance to reach the hull. The second warning boomed across the water through the ship's loudspeaker system. Small craft approaching US Navy warship. Turn away immediately. Do not continue your approach. The pirates responded by accelerating. 33 knots, 34, 35. Bow slapping hard against the waves, throwing spray over the men packed inside. At this point, everyone on that destroyer understood exactly what they were dealing with. Remember that detail about formation tactics. It becomes crucial now, because at 5:24, the destroyer launched its MH-60R Seahawk helicopter, not to start a fight, but to end one before it started. The helicopter lifted off the flight deck and climbed into the gray morning air, banking toward the incoming boats. Suddenly, the pirates weren't just facing a ship, they were facing American steel, rotor blades, and a crew that could track missiles, aircraft, and submarines all at once. 3 skiffs were not confusion. 3 skiffs were Tuesday with bad judgment. The Seahawks camera zoomed in on the lead boat. 6 men aboard, maybe 7, fuel cans under a tarp, rope, metal hooks, what looked like a collapsible ladder section. Not proof of attack by itself, but combined with speed, formation, silence, and direct approach toward a military vessel, it painted a picture no one could ignore. These weren't lost fishermen. They were pirates with boarding equipment closing on a billion-dollar warship. Final warning at 5:35. The helicopter crossed ahead of the lead skiff, close enough for the pirates to see the US Navy markings on the fuselage. The rotor wash rippled the water in front of them. The message was clean. We see you, we can reach you, and you are running out of ocean. The lead boat's driver looked up, leaned forward over the controls, and instead of turning away, pushed the engines harder. 1.8 nautical miles, 1.6, 1.5. Here's what happens when pirates mistake American restraint for weakness. The destroyer didn't panic. It didn't fire wildly into the water. It applied layers of pressure like a machine designed to solve problems at sea. Radar held the geometry. Cameras recorded the evidence. The helicopter held the high ground. Weapons teams held discipline. And the entire encounter narrowed into one brutal question. Would the pirates turn before the US Navy was forced to make them? At 5:37, the lead skiff crossed inside 1.5 nautical miles. Still inbound, still fast, still silent. The captain authorized defensive positioning. Gun crews adjusted their mounts. The movement was precise, visible, and final. The kind of motion that even men in a speeding skiff could understand. The Seahawk transmitted one more time, directly overhead. Turn away immediately. You are being recorded. You are creating a hostile situation. 3 seconds. That's how long the pirates held course after seeing those gun barrels shift. 3 seconds can be nothing. 3 seconds can be history. Then the driver finally broke. The bow snapped right so hard, the skiff slammed across its own wake, throwing spray over the men aboard. Equipment shifted under the tarp. One pirate stumbled against the cabin frame. The northern boat followed, cutting speed and peeling away. The southern boat hesitated, then turned outward too. The trap had failed. But turning away from the hull didn't mean sailing away free. Not after that approach. Not after forcing a US Navy warship to the edge of defensive action. The destroyer launched rigid hull inflatable boats with boarding teams. Professional, controlled, no wasted motion. They climbed aboard the pirate skiffs and found exactly what the cameras had recorded. Fuel cans, heavy rope, metal hooks, and boarding ladders. None of it dramatic by itself. Together, it told the story of men who had rushed a warship with equipment meant for climbing aboard. By 6:10, all 3 boats were under control. Suspected pirates detained, equipment documented, no shots fired, no American casualties, no damage to the destroyer. The ship returned to course like nothing had happened, but something had happened. 3 pirate boats had tested American resolve and discovered that real power isn't about firing first. It's about having so many systems, so much discipline, and such overwhelming capability that enemies defeat themselves. The pirates came in fast, thinking speed was power. The US Navy reminded them that actual power is what happens when radar, helicopters, professional crews, and American steel all move together with one purpose. They expected confusion, they found precision. They expected hesitation, they found controlled force applied at exactly the right moment. That's the difference between pirates who take merchant ships and pirates who run away from warships. So here's the question that should keep every enemy of American naval power awake at night. If 3 small boats rushing one destroyer triggered this kind of layered response, what happens when someone tries something bigger? Because this wasn't luck. This wasn't one crew having a good day. This was the United States Navy operating exactly as designed, turning what could have been chaos into controlled professional violence that never quite needed to turn violent at all.